Hello and welcome. So the Facebook trusted contact thing that used to be available to us as a way that we could get our friends to help us recover our account if, heaven forbid, we somehow get locked out of it. And we'll talk about how that can happen in a minute. Well, that's gone. So we're going to talk about what you can do now, what you need to be aware of, and what your options are if you do get locked out of your account. So come on, let's get this party started. Okay, hello and welcome. So trusted contacts was a thing that Facebook had made available to us a while ago. And it's been around for a long time. And personally, I always thought it sounded like a really good idea. And of course, as you know, as things happen, things have gone by the wayside, and they've taken that away from us. They kind of, sort of let people know. I mean, they did let it be known, but most people I've been talking to don't know about it, and I've recently had somebody get locked out of their account, hence this show, because I want to make sure that you folks out there are aware of this and know what your options are should you get locked out. Now, you can get locked out in a bunch of different ways. Most of them, not anything you did wrong, but just, kind of quickly run through them. So it's things like, if you try to log in too many times, that will give you a temporary lockout. Most of the time, after a timeout, you'll be able to try again and hopefully get it right. But let's say you forgot your password, you lost your password. We all do these things. We have too many passwords. It can happen. But there's also, that nobody will ever admit it, but, technology is technology. Databases go bad, and it could be a technical issue on Facebook's side. Trust me, they'll never admit it, but it does happen. But there's also bad actors out there, right? So somebody could have found a backdoor in either directly to your account or through Facebook, because again, nothing is 100% secure. Or you may have inadvertently clicked on a link that basically hosed you. So there's a lot of different ways, and frankly, the how doesn't matter. The issue is what to do when you get locked out. So I'm just going to show you, for anybody who wasn't aware about, the trusted contacts thing, as is typical in a big corporation, right? So it's gone. It's history. It's not an option anymore. It does not work for you anymore. However, if you go to the Facebook site, you're liable to still see references to it. So that'll work out kind of for us, because now I'm going to show you what we're talking about. Let me take this down. No, not that. There we go. So this is what it was, right? And it cracks me up that this is still live on the Facebook site, right? So, you can choose a couple of friends. It was like 3 to 5 friends that you could choose. And if you got locked out, it talked you through how to go in and get it all taken care of. Despite the fact that this is still showing up on the site, this is the important thing right here. So the important thing right here is, no, it does not exist anymore. It is not an option. It is dead. It is gone. You won't be able to use it. So this is what I'm talking about right here. It says trusted contacts is no longer supported. This means your chosen friends will no longer be able to help you get back on Facebook. So that means even if you had set this up and you haven't done anything about it since, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to be able to help you anymore. And so, they're recommending that you make sure that your email address and phone number are up to date in account settings. And we'll talk about that. And then there's, more information about how to keep your account secure. Okay, yes, but this is sort of, if you're already in the situation where you can't prepared as I like to be for my shows, but you know what? We roll ahead anyway. One sec. Oh, that's because that's not on. There we go. Hang on. Instagram is a Facebook thing. They were using the same functionality, so it's probably not there too. So please, Jason, if you find out, let me know. But I would not trust that anymore, no matter where it is, either Facebook or Instagram, because evidently they're not doing that anymore. Because I don't know. They did not give any explanation for why they took this away from us. But, that's where we're at. That is our reality for today. The email address that you have listed inside of the Facebook account is still something that you have access to. Now, maybe that is, maybe that isn't. But for example, if you set it up with an email account and then you've changed email providers over time, then you want to make sure you go in and take care of this. Also, I know some people set up their social media accounts with a work email address. Please don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever tie your worlds together. So if you have done that, and you are using a work email address, no, go and set it up with a personal email address. And we can talk on another show about all the reasons why you don't want to. I just got a notification from Facebook, but it's got nothing to do with this. Okay, so in order to go in and change your email address, you're going to go in either on the mobile device or on the app, or in the browser. You're going to go into that little. Let me bring it up and show you what I'm talking about. One sec. Facebook load, please. Okay, so you want to go to the little. Oh, I really mean to change the screen there. You want to go and click on your picture, your avatar up in the corner here. And then you want to come down and select settings and privacy. So that's going to give you access to all this stuff. And then you're going to want to go into settings. And then in there is where you're going to go in and verify your email address. I'm just trying to decide whether or not I can. I don't want to share this live because, stuff. But you're going to go in there. You're going to select account settings. Yeah, it's okay. I can share this. So when you go into the settings, you're going to come over here and you're going to select account settings. Let me start from the beginning here. Go down here to account settings. And this is what you want to come in and verify. So you want to make sure that you've got your email address for your account is an email address that you have access to. You may or may not have the add account stuff. You don't have to worry about that. Hang on. So if it's not right, you just go and click. There's that edit button next to it. So you can go in and you can put it in the new email address, and they'll go ahead and they'll verify that, yes, you wanted to do that. And they'll send you an email to verify that you made the change, which is always a good thing to do. So that is definitely the starting point. Go there and do that. Now, all of the information I'm finding keeps talking about also going in and making sure that your mobile phone number is correct inside your Facebook account. Okay, two things. One is there's really not a way to do that from the browser. Again, something else I spent way too much time poking around about, trying to figure out where it was hidden, because it should be exactly where the email was, and it's not. If you go into it on a mobile device and you go and do the same thing, is you click on your avatar picture, you go in, you select account settings, then it comes up no problem. You can go ahead and add it if you haven't added it, or you could change it if it's no longer, the same number. It does need to be your mobile number, something that you can get text messages on, and not a landline number, because they're going to send you text messages. They're not going to call you on it. Now, I've heard people have mixed success trying to use a Google Voice number, because that's sort of the median, right? I'll talk about this more in a second, but not everybody's comfortable, for a lot of different and very, very, very valid reasons, giving Facebook their mobile number, or giving anybody their mobile number. So a lot of people use Google Voice for that, because it works as a phone service, and you can also get text messages through it. But a lot of the social media tools somehow are able to identify it, and they don't let you use it. So I've heard from people that they've been able to do that with Facebook, and I've heard from people that they haven't been able to do that. So it's worth giving a try. If you want to go and set up a Google number, it's free. It's relatively easy to do. You just need to make sure that you use it on a regular basis so you don't lose it, because again, this is important. If you can't get into your account, you need some way to get back in. So that is just something to consider and think about. Now, I'm sure somebody's out there, well, I don't care. I give my, number out to everybody. And that's fine. If you're comfortable doing that, that's fine. But I did want to just share with you, and it's, it's very cute what they do here. So I'm going to just share with you what they say about how they use this number. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. Okay, so it says, when you add a new mobile phone number for two-factor authentication, which we'll talk about in a second, we'll use it to help you log into Facebook and keep your account safe. If someone tries to log in, blah, blah, blah. This is the part that I want to highlight for you, because this is the part that kind of gets buried in the messaging. Okay? Keep in mind, phone numbers added to other places on Facebook and Meta company, blah, 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 may be used for other purposes, including suggesting friends or providing ads. Okay? So this is a decision that you need to make as you're going through this process, because it may not be something that you want to have them have access to. Let's just face reality. Let's just be honest here. They haven't had the best track record, shall we? Well, we'll put it that way, okay? Now, what's interesting is when I looked on the mobile, because it's always good to compare, because the results that you get on the mobile will very often be different from the website. So this version of this information says, we may use your mobile phone number for purposes like helping you log in if you forgot your password, blah, blah, blah. Sending you updates about your, account, about activity, promotions, and account safety. Okay. Connecting you to other people and content on platforms through features like people you may know. Providing and improving ads for you and others. We match your contact information with information we get from other sources. For example, when you make a purchase after seeing an ad on Facebook, keep that in mind. This helps us improve our ad services for everyone within the community. Okay, then they say, we don't ever sell your personal information, blah, blah, blah. However, we know that they've done that. So yeah, it's a judgment call. It's absolutely a judgment call. I'll say that I don't do it because I don't need them having that much information about me. This may or may not impact you, but it's just something, for me, it's not really so much what they're doing with it. It's that people are not aware of what they're doing with it, right? They're like, oh, okay, it's just, so they can contact me and help me get back into my account. That's fine. And that is fine. It's when it gets into this other purposes, which they vaguely define and are able to change at will. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they have sold our information in the past. So, just keep that in mind for what it's worth. Exactly, Marcus. Exactly. This is an exact case of them being, who they are and doing what they do. And let's face harsh reality, right? Facebook is free, right? But nothing is free. They're selling our information. And we know that. It's just the level of comfort and the level of sharing that you're comfortable with it. But yeah, that's exactly it. So just keep that in mind. That's just, as long as you're making informed choices, then you're good, right? It's when you make a choice and you agree to something without understanding what's going on, that's where it gets to be a problem sometimes. So we like to avoid those problems around here. All right, let me slide on down here. So another thing that they suggest, and this again is sort of interesting, right? So they recommend using two-factor authentication, and two-factor authentication is a good thing to use. Now, I will be the first one to admit, every time I have to go grab my phone and get the code and put it in, every time, right? I know logically that it's a good thing. Two-factor makes it a little harder for somebody to break into my account. It's a little harder for them if they have some of the information to get all the way in. I know that, but I still have that human reaction of, oh, geez, another freaking step I got to do, right? Every time I do something. So I do it. I recommend people do it, but I will also acknowledge up front that, yes, it is a pain point. Absolutely. The thing is, they keep recommending this and all these things that I'm saying about trusted contacts going away and how to recover an account. But two-factor authentication is not going to help you recover your account. Two-factor authentication is going to be another piece of security to hopefully keep you from losing your account. But that, not like I said earlier, nothing in life is 100%. And so just be aware of this. Yes, it's a good thing, and yes, you should do it. And they do have two-factor as an option. So you can go ahead. I'll just show you. And of course, all the links are in the description as always. But, they tell you how to go in and set it up. There's different, ways that you can use two-factor. I use Google Auth. In the beginning, I was using custom ones for each one. And it was like, what, this is a pain in the neck. And I just use Google Auth. But again, your mileage may vary. You can use security keys. There's a lot of different options out there, and they do use most of them. So you can go ahead and check that out and pick the method that works better for you. But just, it's not, like I said, it's not going to help you get your account back, but it will possibly make it harder for you to lose your account, I guess is the way to go about this. If you do lose your account, Marcus is nailing it as usual. Yes, exactly. No such thing as a free meal. Never. Never, ever. Come on. Okay, seriously? Let's try that again. Why did that not work? I'm still in the middle of changing my computers and everything's a little wonky. But yes, there's no such thing as a free meal ever. So let's talk about the unfortunate reality that is going to happen to some people sooner or later, like I said, through no fault of their own or because you made a mistake. So let's talk about what you need to do if you do get locked out of your account. The other harsh reality of them taking away trusted contacts is they did not replace it with anything. So it was something that was there. I know several people who had great success with it when they ran into a problem. However, it's gone. It's not coming back, and there's no alternative. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get something back if you do end up losing access to your account, but it's taken away something that made it an easier process. So if you do get locked out, when you're on the login page, there is something that says, having a problem accessing my account or whatever, and you can walk through that process. You can also, and the nice thing about Facebook is you can get to the Facebook help, which by the way is facebook.com/help, without being logged in. So yeah, I'm logged in right now, but you can actually access this if you're not. But if you can't log in, they do offer some steps that you can take. So this is something that you just might want to make a note of or just file away in the back of your brain in case you ever need it. But there are several steps that you can go through, and hopefully one of these will work for you. It's not, I won't get you, it's not easy. It's a painful process. If one of the easy things doesn't work, then it becomes a very painful process. And it may take a lot of time. So just be prepared for that, because it is what it is. But that is definitely there. Let's see what else. Let me make sure I've got all the stuff coming. All the stuff covered. Okay, so there's that. The other thing that I just wanted to mention, because I'm seeing people recommending this, but it's sort of not right now. When I'm recording this in December 2022, it's not necessarily a great option because it's not available to everybody. And that is this thing called Facebook Protect. So I see people are recommending this as a quote unquote replacement for trusted contacts, but it's not. And it's also not available to everybody. So they started this, and when you come and you look at this, they say specifically that it's for, candidates, campaigns, and elected officials to secure their accounts. So unless you're in one of those groups, right now you're not even going to be considered for it. But the other thing is you can't access it. I think it actually says it down here. Yeah. So you can't choose to enroll in this. It says, people who may be eligible will see prompt to learn about it and enroll. Now, they're supposedly going to expand this. And so we may start to see it roll out for other people. But right now, it's not an option. So I just wanted to let you know that, because if you start to hear about it from somebody, and you're like me and you're like, okay, so then maybe they did give us something that's an option. It's not really an option. Not today anyway, and certainly not for most of us. So just information sharing. But the, too long didn't read version of this, too long didn't write or didn't watch version of this is that Trusted Contacts has gone away. Even if you had it set up, it's not something that you can use to get your access back. And the only other options you have are make it harder for somebody to take your account, which means be careful about anybody like you invite to your account to help you manage it. Make sure you keep them at a level of access that is below yours so they can't take it. I've seen that happen. And also make sure that you set up two-factor authentication just so that anybody that does get part of your login information can't complete the process because they won't have your two-factor set up. Other than that, you're going to have to just go through their process, which is verifying your identity and that kind of thing. And that will be back and forth with Facebook. They are not quick about responding to you as they go through. There's a form. You have to wait to hear back. Do make, this is why it's important right now, if you do nothing else, that you go into your Facebook account and make sure your email address is correct so that you can get the information back from them, because they're not going to send it to a third party. They're going to send any contact for help that you make to them. Their responses are going to go to the email account that you have listed with your account, because they don't want some wild third party asking for that information, which that I agree with, right? That's a security thing, but that's why it's so important that your email address be correct inside of there, and it is an account that you have access to. So yeah, there's no back and forth. There's nobody you can call. Let's just get that out of the way. There's no magic phone number that you can call for tech support from Facebook. Doesn't exist. Not going to happen. So you're just going to have to keep at it. You're going to want to document everything, and you're going to want to make sure that you just, give them, a couple of days to respond, because they've fired a bunch of people, and they were always understaffed anyway in that team. So contact them, give them all the information you have, everything you can think of. Watch your emails. If you don't hear back in a couple of days, then follow up and try again until you make a connection with somebody who's going to work with you. But it is painful, so obviously try to avoid it. But like I said before, it's not always your fault. It's just the way it is. Jason, I love this. Yes, trusted contacts has been Facebooked. Absolutely. That is absolutely what has happened here. And so I just, for me, it was important because this person that contacted me was upset because they had trusted contacts set up, and they're like, why aren't they able to help me? It's like, because that's been shut down. Yay. So they're not back in yet. This has been going on a couple of days. Of course, it's the end of the year. It's the worst time to try to get anybody to help you because everybody's on vacation. But they have started that process and are going through it. So this is why we wanted to talk about this here tonight, to make sure that this information is out there. And it's not the best information. I wish I could tell you, oh, okay, trusted contacts is gone, but go use this. Nope. So you're just restricted to the basic process if you do get locked out. And the best thing that you can do is verify that your email's right inside of your Facebook account. I check Instagram too. And make sure you're using two-factor authentication to make life harder on anybody who is trying to get into people's accounts. All right? Okay, everybody. I wish I had more news for you, but that's the best we've got right now. So hopefully everybody will stay safe out there, and this will not happen to anybody, and this will just be information in your brain that you can share with others who maybe aren't quite as lucky, but it is what it is. Let me see. Wait, Marcus just... Okay, why didn't that come through? Oh, there it is. So Marcus says, I once needed to register my old Yahoo email address again to recover a password. Lucky it was available. That, and this is a great example, right? Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail accounts, people who have, like I said, used a work email address that they don't have access to because they don't work for that company anymore. That's why never ever use that. So yeah, that's a perfect example of the kind of problems, and it's not always available. And to be honest, there are scenarios where you won't get the account back. And so, for example, like if you were not able to get that email address back, you might not have gotten your account back. This is not meant to scare anybody. This is just the reality of it, right? If they can't verify who you are, if they can't contact you at the information that they have on file, then they have to assume that either, you're not the person, or that, maybe you're getting information that, they're sending that you can't actually see. So yeah, it's not a good situation at all. And this is why, okay, so this is just a little added piece because this is one of my soapboxes, but don't ever rely on a third party for all of your stuff. Okay, I don't care who it is. Someday you're going to have a problem or they're going to go away. So always make sure you have a private email address. Make sure that you have at least a one-page website that you can point people to that's under your control, and make sure you own the domain name, because otherwise you could end up disappearing, especially those of us who are running businesses, right? Whether it's, a big business or small business, a side hobby, whatever it is. You don't want to risk losing everybody. And that's certainly a possibility in this kind of a case. The person I'm working with, even though we've had this conversation many times before, had everything in their world just on Facebook, and now they can't do anything. So we're setting them up with a one-page website and all that kind of good stuff. We've been having this conversation for years, but it's, it's human. It's human nature. It's like, yeah, I know I need to do that, but you got a billion other things to do, and it's on the to-do list, and it never makes it to the top. It's now at the top for them. So that's what I've got for you. I hope everybody's having a good end of year. I hope everybody has had a good holiday season, and we will be here next week. As always, if you have any questions, comments, if you have any topic you want me to cover, you can go to yourtechcoach.com. There's a contact form there. Also, if you need a consult, there's a link there. You can buy some consult time if you need some one-on-one help. So don't be shy. That's what I do. And anything else that you ever need, feel free. Reach out. To be honest, most of the best shows, most of the good content comes from questions you ask or recommendations for topics you want covered. So yes, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope it's better than the last, right? We have a lot to look forward to, I hope. And I will see you. I'm here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you can come and join live, but if you can't, go ahead and put your questions and comments into the comments, and I do come back and check those out. All right? Thank you all. Go be safe. Go verify your Facebook email address. Let's stay on the safe side of things, and we will talk again in the new year. Bye.